All right, next we have in 1734, we have a Frenchman named Voltaire. So French, he was French. Remember, John Locke is English. Voltaire, Frenchman, who wrote a book called Philosophical Letters. Philosophical Letters. And in it, he defended the idea of civil liberties, which goes along with John Locke's natural rights. He said people have the freedom of speech. That's part of their natural right to liberty. And they have freedom of religion as part of their natural right to liberty, to choose for themselves what they want to say, what they want to believe, what they want to do. And he recommended the separation of church and state. And again, this was a pretty radical idea. Up until this point, as I said earlier, the church has been running everything, and that includes most of the countries. Okay, so Voltaire's big idea that he focused on was individual rights. Individual rights. Now, we have Montesquieu, 1748. He wrote The Spirit of the Laws, and his big idea was separation of powers to help control government so that it didn't get out of hand. Rousseau in 1762 wrote The Social Contract, and he said, in addition to Machiavelli, who said basically the same thing, he said a republic must serve all levels of society. It's not good enough for just the kings and just the nobles to be represented in a republic. The knights and the peasants must also be represented. And Montesquieu and Rousseau were both French. Then we have a new one, Mr. William Blackstone in 1765. He was English. And he wrote a book called Commentaries on the Laws of England. Commentaries on the Laws of England. And so he had studied all the laws and the history of law in England, and he wrote a book talking about all the laws. That's what a commentary is, when you talk about what's going on. And in his book, he discussed how to use the law to protect individual freedoms. So how to create laws and develop a way of executing laws that would protect individual freedoms. So William Blackstone's big ideas that he focused on, of course, were individual rights. We're talking about individual freedoms, individual rights. But he's assuming that if we set up laws, that people are going to follow them. So using law is related to the rule of law, the idea that all people must follow the law. Again, he was English. And then we had another Englishman in 1776, Adam Smith, who wrote a book called Wealth of Nations. Wealth of Nations. And Adam Smith was more interested in the economic side of it rather than the political side of it. But he addressed an important idea politically when he said that a free enterprise economic system, protects economic rights. And a free enterprise economic system is one where the people own all the property and the people make the decisions about what's going to be produced and what they're going to buy and what's going to be sold, rather than the government. When the government makes those decisions and the government owns all the property, it's called a command economic system. And Adam Smith advocated a free enterprise economic system. But he also said that free enterprise, to have that kind of a system, depends on the natural right to own property. If the government owns all the property, then a free enterprise system is not available, and people don't have choices about what they want to buy, where they want to buy it, how they want to produce things. And so, again, Adam Smith is talking about individual rights, specifically our right to own property. And there you have the major philosophers of the Age of Enlightenment as related to American political systems.